Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have, and I'm proud to say, Canyon finally on Groggy Ice. Now, he got buffed a little bit a while back, but you are seeing a little bit of a resurgence in the high elo, a little bit in pro play, because of his ability to create high pressure. Now, high pressure isn't necessarily created only by ganking, and that's what you're thinking. You're thinking, high pressure. He just predators, he ganks. Yeah, but high pressure is also exerted by being able to cut off enemy junglers, counter gank, collapse in situations, and he does all of those things very well. Now, they're going for a little cheeky delayed invade, I think, thinking about it. It's worth noting that is a Yuumi with a Karthus bottom lane and a Lee Sin jungle. This game happened just before the end of the patch because a lot of the pros have not really been spamming solo queue that much this week because it's a fresh patch. It's getting more detached from the real world meta, and obviously, you know, they're not going to be playing a lot of the stuff on stage in the same capacity as the live patch. So a lot of the games you're going to see in terms of VOD reviews on a lot of channels that do tracking the pros and so on will be more spread out, shall we say. The runes you would have seen in your screen were absolutely the most standard Predator rune set you can possibly imagine, but he is starting Raptors, Red Krugs, a lost art of the Predator junglers. Anyone remember Season 9, Hecarim buffs, Predator? Yeah, it was really, really useful back then. I think someone on EU West got rank 1 around March or April, and the quintessential playstyle was red side, try bush, observe, gankable, no, okay, reset, booties, straight bottom lane, now you die. And Canyon's gonna try to do that exact same thing. And because we are against a pre-nerf Karthus, because we are against a pre-nerf Lee Sin, you have to understand that this is a tougher game, especially when you're throwing a Yuumi. Now, Jax moved on down and put this ward. When a jungler doesn't leash in high elo, when a laner doesn't leash in high elo, you're more likely to get these kinds of situations where they start Raptors and try and early gank. So, heads up by the Jax, nice play. Now, Lee Sin obviously started red side, good ward, we're not going to repeat ourselves, and he's gone to the typical 3-camp, Grump, skip the blue. If there was a gank here, he would have looked for that, but I think now what this provides him is the opportunity to either gank top lane here, or at the very least, if he had Giga Prior in the mid lane and bottom lane, to at least gank mid lane, or do wolves and then collapse on the crab. He chooses to go and gank mid lane, misses the Q, thumbs it up, that's exactly what we want to do. Canyon, on the other hand, is reset, got his booties, has Predator, notices the Karthus is very low on HP, fighting it out with the Draven and high pressure jungling. Now you might think, well, that's the bottom laners fisting each other and Canyon capitalizing. Okay. Okay, you know what? I'm okay with that. Because even though he loses his flash, it tilts the living hell out of the Lee Sin, and we're okay with this. He's going to cut across mid lane to try to get the top grab. It really does have Prior. Now there's a big old fight going on the mid lane. The Graves is going to fight a lot and die a lot. Canyon, in the meanwhile, is just going to say, right, I'm doing blue Gromp. She is trying to trap this, wards it. This is brilliant. Nice cutting off of the Lee Sin by the entire red team, and Canyon can absolutely relax. Don't worry. Even though Canyon has a lot of high pressure and the bot lane benefits directly from this, the solo laners, it doesn't go as well. You know, they try their best, bless them, but it doesn't always go as well this game. Specifically, I'm referencing the Graves. So the Nautilus is still perma-roaming. Yuumi has rotated. That's a thing you can do on Yuumi, by the way. They're really trying to fight here. She's going to have to reattach very, very shortly because here comes the Predator activation once again. Ingenious Hunter. They do kill the Graves also. Draven rotates. Everyone's really low. Gragas and Draven are going to clean this up. And this is what's so important about this. Give it to the Draven. Here we go. This is what's so important about this pressure. It's not instigated pressure. It's reactive pressure, but it's so important for junglers to have reactive pathing. And it's what Canyon does and what Korean junglers do so well. And from this, an extension now. Don't do your Raptors and then the crab. Straight to the crab. Deny it. Enjoy it. We know that the Lee Sin has bottom Raptors available. Tier 2. There he is. You can see the particles. And we know he has the Gromp. So in this situation, because we saw Lee Sin go through this ward to the wolves, you know he's going to reset now, most likely go to this, this, and this. Or you can go to this, gank it immediately, and then look to do dragons. And Yuumi has attached in the hope of doing exactly that. So this vision is huge, and the Lee Sin has decided now to cut upside the map. He was seen though. He doesn't know he was seen. So he thinks he's being a cheeky, but he's not being a cheeky. He's not being a cheeky anything. I was gonna say another word, but I wish to remain monetized. We can only use those words later on in videos, not at the beginning. Gragas in the meantime, Canyon, exactly. We saw the Lee Sin, he knows the Lee Sin's pathing up, we can expect here a dive. Oh, hello, sir. Oh, I wish we could have known about this. Oh wait, we did. Predator. Rush. It really has to be careful though, because this is pre-nerf everything. It's all stacked, and don't overcommit yourself to try and kill the Jax here. That's fine. That's fine. I wouldn't freak out. I mean, we kind of know the Lee Sin's showing. And the thing about knowing that the Lee Sin might farm top or gank top is that you're in a position to rotate. So even though Canyon didn't really fully unpredict it, he's at least in a position to try. And, you know, 5 times out of 10, they kill the Jax. 5 times out of 10, they kill the Irelia. I mean, it's worth the attempt. So, back to base. 3-0-1. And Alternator, Sork Boots, completed. We see that the Graves is very, very low. Who wants to bet on a Yuumi Lee Sin showing up? Who wants to bet on it? He's not staying. You could dive this. You see the ping here. You could dive this. But Canyon is in the area. Canyon is in the area. That ping also from blue team could very much mean, like, we know that the Canyon, like the Canyon sequence top side, held top and went back to base, so he must be bottom side now. So the ping in the Yasuo to be a little careful, which looks like it was the right decision because Canyon doesn't care. And that's high pressure right there. You know, Predator, rotate. How many times? 3 times. He's done that now. Ingenious Hunter, really a good rune for this kind of stuff. We see the Lee Sin here at this point. If he sequence down, you can obviously track that, but at this stage, you don't 100% always know where someone, a jungler in your elo is going to go. Giving Vernor a nice gank there. Dankeschön. And the thing is, right, as I was mentioning while he did that gank, after the Lee Sin's here, in your lower elo games, they're going to do a bit of random pathing out of base. I almost said bathing in indecision. They might go top side, or they might go bottom side. And until you have visual confirmation, you don't always know. And high elo, it's kind of easy sometimes. You know, like we know Canyon's bottom side because he's sequenced up, held top. It's obvious where he's going next. That isn't always the case in every elo game. So your proactive tracking is one thing, but your reactive tracking needs to be another. Like if you thought Lee Sin now was top side, and you said, guys, don't worry, he's top side, hypothetically. And he shows him the sword, you go, oh. Okay, so what does that mean? That means blue is up. If he hadn't taken his blue camps, that means those are up. So if you don't have numbers advantage while they go for this dragon, what can you do? Well, Canyon do. Oh, wow. That was I apologize, but, you know, I got a dinner to go to, and, I just want to wait, so my brain's a little overactive. You can easily go to the Herald. Wow, that was bad. Okay, so someone alert freaked to that one. Ganks on the bottom side, we saw him, apparently they don't care, and this is what I'm saying, like, you see the Draven getting really fed, and he still dies. You know, the Lee Sin's still doing a solid job, but it's Canyon in the meantime is tracking, farming, reacting, tracking, farming, reacting. You take one thing, I take another. It's not costing him anything to do this and match the pressure of the Lee Sin. But it feels to me that the Lee Sin shouldn't be getting what he is, whereas Canyon is just picking it off. You know what I mean? That not all 4-kill junglers are created equal. And as I said, we see him, even if you expected him to be topside, if he's not, and he's down bot side, and he's gonna yeet all this stuff, take the Herald, take his blue. I think you can anticipate from the blue team's perspective that, you know, after he takes Herald, he must be topside. Nautilus roams again, and the Yasuo flashes to the other side of the wind wall just to tilt the Graves even more. Gets knocked up. That was ambitious. Their ambition outweighed their talent in that situation, to quote Casey Stoner. If you guys don't know, then don't worry about it, but still funny. In the meantime, let's gank top lane. I mean, this is all you're looking to do. There you go. Okay, that's just a funny image. Gragas ganks top lane, sits while Jax does the helicopter, and Irelia just dashes 1,000 times either side of them. Funny. So, it's like that that Riot Cassidy tweet, I don't know if it was yesterday or the other day, with the Twitch going against the Nasus, you know? And then the Twitch starts space gliding, giga kiting 1,000 attacks per second, and then Nasus just flash and just bonks him and he dies. So it's kind of the same thing, except with the Irelia Qs. Okay, so, back to base. No need to force the Herald top lane. I don't think that's really our win condition. It's definitely the Draven. They do take this tower. Sorry, not take this tower. They do kill people under this tower, but Canyon wants to take this tower. Sorry, I had 2 words in my mind and I skipped all the words in between. I apologize, considering that's what's required to form a coherent sentence. Busy brains. We take the crab, once again, out of base. Look, side lanes. The bottom lane, is it doable? Is mid lane doable? Is anything doable? No? Alright, does it mean just take the crab? That's a nice, safe thing to do. Fall back to my blue side, carry on farming. Stare at the minimap. We have Predator for easy rotations, and that's why Hecarim is so good also, because Hecarim allows you the exact same rotational capabilities. If you see something happening while you're farming, while you're playing the map, you can very much get somewhere super quickly. There are pings coming through. I think we can anticipate the Yasuo moving down here. The wave is crashing on this. Maybe there's a dive. Look at this discipline from the ADC. Please learn this if you play ADC as well. Look, they all disappear. They move down. We're thinking they're in the area. It must be warded. Scan it. See, look at the hesitation. It's great. It's very good. Now, Lee Sin shows up with a Yuumi. Once more, we moon dance away, leaving our drunken drink on the floor. A ward is placed. We do have a control ward to use, but I don't think we want to waste it in this situation. Nautilus, Karthus should not be there. That is the opposite of what I'm talking about. Lee Sin hits buttons, and then because he has a Yuumi and overpowered Gore Drinker plus Iron Spike Whip and all that kind of stuff, not Iron Spike Whip, Gore Drinker active, which fortunately doesn't do as much as it used to. But nice by the Gragas, not get into the Draven, try and get him kills, unfortunately, as I was saying, overpowered things. And replace here the Lee Sin and Yuumi and the Conqueror and the Gore Drinker with anything in your mind that's overpowered in the given meta. Whether you watch this video now, in a month, at the beginning of Season 12, looking to play Gragas in Season 12. Replace the OP-ness with everything the enemy team has with whatever it is in the current moment. If you're not playing that, you have to beat it in a different way. You have to understand that your Graves is going to be 0-5. You have to understand that you cannot match always the raw power curve that they have, just because they outstat you. They do something more than you can possibly offer. You have to play around it, and I think Canyon obviously is one of the, if not the best in the world at doing this. Doesn't really matter what he's playing. The villains in solo queue, as Don1Kia likes to say, right? I mean, I'm a Gragas, and this is a Nautilus, and what are you doing there, buddy? What are you doing? Okay, now, they have forgone any sort of dragon pressure, which again, I've spoken about in the last video. I don't like it when people are ignoring dragons to this extent. These are good stats. Does anyone disagree? Like, these are good stats. If I can get a 23-minute soul and have total dominion over the game, which is what I've been doing with my new Volibear tech that I've been trying to figure out to make the champion not absolutely abysmal, which I think I've solved, by the way. Might try something in the main channel for that. What are you gonna do when I have Ocean Soul at 23 minutes and total map control? I mean, there's no ways I'm coin flipping an Elder, and, you know, I'll just play around it. So, I think there's two schools of thought there. I don't agree with leaving things as much as people are leaving them. But if you can get 2 dragons and the enemy team scales, and you kind of don't want to give them that coin flip ability, if you will, later in the game, I understand. But in early game champion situations where perhaps you get outscaled, like with the, you know, a Yuumi, a Karthus, Jax, that can become quite difficult. So early objectives and just trying to close it out is a very good skill, I feel, to have. The Yasuo gets the blue. Graves is not having fun. What? Graves is not having fun, but Canyon is. Right, let's press the button. We have pressed the button. Jax, I think you overstayed a little bit there, buddy. Do the helicopter. Do it. Do the helicopter. He leaps first. He has no helicopter. It's unfortunate. Kind of wanted to see it and then watch him die. It's more funny that way. Push this. Yeah. He also has no fun. Karthus. Ah. You saw that one. Fool me once, said the Karthus. Fool me once. Yuumi with Lee Sin mid lane. You're down 2 levels though. You're down 2 levels. Comedy. Yeah. I mean, this is just, the Karthus is just doing lazy pathing. And it's funny because Evlamains will like playing Karthus as well, and their lazy pathing is absolutely hysterical for me. I love watching. I think you die here. Man, why did they nerf it? It was just so fun and interactive gameplay. Why did they nerf these things? Unbelievable. I'm so glad it's dead. Wow. Yeah, it's dead in comparison. Then now can they nerf Yuumi? If she's not just a few loose pixels on the screen that does nothing, then there's something wrong with the game. Now, you will notice, where's Canyon? I lost him for a second. It's amazing. I lost him and he's Gragas. It's insane. You will notice here that the Draven is really fed. The Nautilus has been roaming a lot. And you will notice that the solo lane is, while the Reli's doing a good job, actually Reli's doing a very good job. I probably should have just said Graves at the beginning of the game. There we go, finally, he dies. I should have just said Graves when I said wasn't playing well. But it's more like top lane isn't really, there you go, Canyon. No, Canyon. It's close. I should have said Graves when I was mentioning bad solo laners. Or solo lane is having a rough time. The Jax, I mean, to be fair, Canyon has ganked this a fair bit. Okay, Axis of Destiny. Nope. Season 2 in December, by the way. Season 2 in December. If you know, you know. The keyword there is Destiny. Right. Predator activated. Hello, Lee Sin. Down a level. I mean, 727 Rocket Belt Morello's Gragas. The Morellos is just 100% necessary. The HP is just really useful. Watching the Draven now be really fed. And this is what will happen a lot. Cleanse is used. You'll get a situation where you have a fed lane. Whether it's top lane, mid lane, or bottom lane. Sometimes it's bottom lane, especially if you give a lot of impact. But you have solo lane is either neutral, for example, or one inting. And it kind of offsets the pressure you've put out. And the Lee Sin gets fed also and has a roaming Yuumi. So this is just really bad pathing. The Jax is bottom side. The Draven is not here. The Rally is not here. Graves is top lane. There's literally no reason to be in that situation. But Karthus returns the favor. I mean, what do you think that's going to do? What do you think that's going to do? You think because he takes up more surface area of the wall when he walks through it that it does more damage? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. They're not even on the dragon. I mean, Lee Sin's top lane. Why? You know? Even Canyon is like, okay. I snack. Take this. You see the difference, though? I want you to look at your games in this similar situation where you have a fed bot, you have a fed lane, and you have someone just inting or playing badly. How do you offset that pressure yourself as a jungler? Go look. I mean, I told you. Lee Sin, even if you expect it to be someone else, he shows, he kills, he's in this area, I take this, I gank this. I push this, you know, I reset. I mean, the Canyon just offset the pressure completely and even fed himself more because he was actively counter-jungling the whole time. Huge. Absolutely huge. Now we're setting traps because we're basically an assassin. Juggle the barrel. Okay. Okay. So, if bottom lane stays... Yuumi! If bottom lane stays, it definitely goes better. But I think overall this is exactly the play you want to make. Flash from the Karthus, flash W. They're just trying to stun the Yuumi. Kill the Yuumi. Okay, there we go. Good. Karthus, I think, should be able to kill kill Canyon. But overall, this is a good fight. This is exactly what you're looking for. Trap them, try and get the element of surprise. They're not able to react in time. And even though Canyon dies here, it's absolutely fine. They can just speed run this Baron. You see Jax in the bottom lane, which means you just take the Baron. Let the Jax push bottom lane. That's fine, absolutely fine. Hey, no. 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 Unbelievable. See, this is exactly the same situation where Showmaker wanted the blue, and someone smited it, and he's gonna punch you. This is except it's inverse. The jungler doesn't deserve to lose his camp, so 1-9 Graves. In these situations with Baron and a huge lead, Shadow, as much as you can, activate your Predator, look for a target. Same thing with Rengars. If you're playing a Rengar, you can ult just to probe. And then you can do some probing. What is this voiceover? I don't know what's going on with my brain. I apologize. Hopefully it's still educational nonetheless. Yeah. Right. Here, it can be kind of difficult in situations where your Graves is basically hard griefing. This is like Giga Villain go to jail time. But good zoning by the big boys and girl. Basically everyone just sitting in front of the Draven, not letting them get into the back line. Aurelia doing 3,000 beats per minute EDM. And then the Gragas using his in and out gameplay to go back in and out. Unfortunately, they've just completely outplayed us. You know, they've outplayed us. They just, I mean, they have just better champion design. Or lack of design. Oh, I hate Yuumi. I mean, no one likes Yasuo either, but like Yone and Yuumi for me are just two ends of the opposite spectrum. Yuumi is just too far here, like it shouldn't exist, and Yone is too far here, it shouldn't exist. Really, like I feel like people have learned and understand Yasuo to a certain degree. Okay, he's out of position, punish every time, and trust me, this happens in 99% of your games. If it happens in Challenger, if it happens in Grandmaster, in US, and Korean LPL, Super Server, Ionia, any of the 80,000 servers, it doesn't matter, right? It happens. Are you in position to capitalize? Did you see a dragon was spawning in 30 seconds and move yourself and your team to that location? If you did, and they miss position because they don't have vision control and you have the lead, kill them. You will find if you're in the right position, more often than not, you'll be in position to make those plays. And that's the most important lesson about that situation, you know? And it doesn't really matter if your team is with you or not. If you have played well and you have 3 dragons and you're fed like Canyon is, and whatever champion you play is fed and you're not physically press the buttons, you can easily take a 2v1. You know, that's always the goal as a jungler. I always want you guys to look, can I take a 2v1? If you can't 1v1 anyone on the enemy team, like in bronze or silver or gold or even platinum, you have to look earlier in the game. That's what I was saying coaching. Don't look at the 24-minute fight and say, why am I losing games at 24 minutes? No, I'm going to look at pre-24 minutes to figure out how to make that 24-minute fight easy. And that's what you want to look for as a jungler. So take the mid inhibitor. From that, the dragon, everything is yours. You can try and set traps here, although a gold reset is probably good because you got 2,800 gold on your mid laner and bottom laner. Which means even though Graves is Giga Inting, because he just went to solo lane island, he was able to pick himself up a good chunk of change. No flash on the Karthus. Woo! And he Zonya's this one. Axis of Destiny. Close. Barrel. There we go. Well played. And that's crucial. Again, Canyon didn't need to reset. So Canyon didn't reset. The enemy team probably thought everyone reset. So Karthus thinks I'm going to take 30 seconds to push up the wave a little bit and try and position myself to, scale a little bit faster. Canyon says, I don't allow this. It is forbid. And he dies. Here, I think I would normally be looking to push this a little bit and then rotate top lane. I don't know why no one is really focusing on this. I think Canyon here is just resetting because obviously crucial itemization spike, but I don't think you want to reset here unless you got like huge amounts of gold. But if you reset here, your tempo is completely off from the rest of your team. You want to try and bait a Baron fight and then just push to end, which I think is exactly what they're going to try to do. Graves is farming the jungle. I mean, as expected. Jax is flanking. All right, here we go. We can bait the Baron once more. Is Draven just going to do it? I mean, he can. Okay, I have to start that again because of a replay glitch. They're on the Baron. Don't 50-50 this. This isn't RNG versus EDG. Go into the fight. I think nice kick, or flash kick there into the Gragas, trying to focus that main target. Lee Sin is backside now. He detaches left to make sure he can get his cooldowns back. Karthus has no flash because the previous pick is dead, and Draven is left alone on the back line, and that's the most important thing about this. The Lee Sin kick is nice, but it leaves a Draven completely untouched, and Canyon is just absorbing all of this attention, right? Because they need to deal with Canyon. They have to deal with Gragas. And this is the main thing. If you have a really fed ADC or carry who can just chill backline, if you can make yourself a target that they have to respect and use spells on, perfect. And if they are really not focusing you and like they're trying to kill the Draven here, just peel. Just peel. Just knock up the Lee Sin and prevent it. But there you go. Hyperactive voiceover on my part. That was funny. But a nice Gragas gameplay. Use a Predator clear if you want some early pressure. Make sure you're using the Predator to react F keys minimap. And hopefully a little amount of tips for your ending game macros and so on. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something. Please do like, share, and comment if you did. And as always, I will see you all in the next video.